I want to recount to you a true story. This is a true story that happened in Texas, 2018. I was recounting this story to myself just the other night. I was walking through a park in downtown Houston one evening, early evening, and I could tell that there was a different energy about it. Well, I saw a group of people standing there. I hadn't seen it before. Just a few of them, very quiet, but they had a certain resonance about them. They're holding the Texas flag. One of them might have been holding an American flag, but I noticed the Texas flag first. They were just quiet. They were looking across the street. Across the street was the city hall. And there was an assembly of people doing some sort of public demonstration in front of the city hall. Now, I did not talk to these people, but I could tell by the resonance in their comportment that they were the kind of people that would potentially identify themselves as open carry supporters. They weren't making a disturbance. They weren't acting out. They didn't say anything. They were just standing there. They were just observing. Across the street, I saw a little bit about what was going on. I didn't know exactly what it was. Went into the library. The next day, things happened. It was a different day. There was more excitement that day. I had on this dress I had gotten. It was a long dress. It went to my ankles. Had no sleeves though. It was black and red and white. Something happened when I put it on. I liked the way it felt. I don't usually wear dresses. It doesn't suit me, but this one did. I came out of the library. I had something I had printed out. I was in the course of trying to file a case. There had been some crimes that had happened. I was trying to file a case. Across the street, there was a protest. Presumably, the topic had to do with immigrants' rights. There was a young woman, over the age of 18, I'm certain, but under the age of 25. She was speaking. There were people assembled. There was press, both cameras, as if they were going to be on the broadcast news. Other people looked like maybe they were journalists at a print publication or maybe some sort of online publication. And I had no intention of interrupting, but I wanted to understand what she was saying and maybe talk to some of the people assembled. Because if what they were saying that I could hear from across the street was accurate, then what they were doing and working on was very comparable to what I was working on at the time as well. Well, something happened. As I went to approach, 4 people came out, and there was a 5th one behind them. The 5th one had a radio. I recognized him. The other 4 people lined up, locked their arms, as if to create a human wall. We're not letting you through. You're not allowed in here. They were wearing these red t-shirts. And on these red t-shirts, they had these hammers and sickles on them. And the Union, the logo of the former Soviet Union, right there, displayed prominently on their brand new looking red t-shirt. I said to myself, do they know what happened yesterday? Are they really prepared to follow through on what they're putting out into the ethers right now? You want to lock arms and act as if you're protecting that woman because I'm some sort of a threat while you present yourself in this manner. Now, the unfortunate thing is, 2 of those people I had seen earlier, I saw them on the day of the inauguration of Donald Trump. They were marching in a procession of people identifying themselves as members of organized labor, including organized labor that supported immigrant rights, and one of them had a sign that said, without any immigrants, Trump wouldn't have any wives. And another one of those very same people had another sign that said, I will trade one of Trump's wives for 10,000 immigrants. It literally said that on those signs. Those same people marching in solidarity, I guess, because I don't think they were a member of any union themselves, except insofar as they were what? Members of the Soviet Union? And they were going to prevent me from being able to see if perhaps I could find somebody at that assembly to share information with regarding the law, the actual law. The problem was compounded by the fact that man on the phone, the man on the radio phone, the Nextel, I had never seen him in that setting before. What I had seen is every week he would show up and pass out numbers. Unless the other person who passed the numbers out was there, he would show up every week right across the street from a major auditing firm, but in front of the public library across the street from City Hall, to oversee while they were distributing food to the assembled. Homeless people, street homeless people. We're talking about people sleeping on the street. Every once in a while, on a regular day scheduled, this group would come and would distribute food to the homeless. They had their own process. They had numbers. They'd give you a number. And as they called the number, you would come up and get your food. We tried to make our own numbers once, you know that? And they were late, and so I had some paper. Another guy had some scissors. Had a pen. I wrote the numbers out. He cut them out. We were going to pass them out to people. It was a scandal. We weren't allowed to make our own numbers and pass them out to each other. If we wanted to eat, they were the ones that made the numbers. They were the ones that passed them out. They made this very clear. Literally, they actually said it that way, and just in a different tone. Well, I mean, if we let you make numbers, then there's going to be confusion. So, I mean, we can only let her make the numbers. She's the only one who's allowed to make the numbers and pass the numbers out. Unless, of course, he wants to pass the numbers out instead. But the point of the matter is, you're not allowed to make your own numbers. The problem is compounded additionally by the fact that he never represented himself as somebody that was calling shots for the Soviet Union. He was a man of God, preaching gospel to the homeless people on the street while he was talking to the people afraid of being oppressed for their support of immigrants' rights that were getting backup from people in the Soviet Union. I don't think they can follow through. I don't think they have what it takes to actually deliver on what they put out there. Let me tell you something. Presumably, I'm not on the streets anymore. I'm not getting any food like I was when you were making my numbers. It would seem the cost of me being able to stay inside is I'm not allowed to eat fruits and vegetables. I know where you guys work, what your actual job is. I know what kind of pension benefits you get. I know what you expect your child care benefits to be. I also know what happens when there is an employee grievance, including in connection with simulations of some other kind of process that actually, by the letter of the law, is illegal for you to do on your work site. And I know what you do when one of your fellow employees says, hey, it's against the rules for us to do this, and by the way, it's against the law. I don't think you can follow through.